I would love to find out what is climate resilience and why is it important to today's farmers.
You know, climate resilience is simply the ability of a farm, being able to actually absorb shocks. Because, as you know, if you have looked at what has happened in the last few years, we have had, drastic changes in the weather patterns where, typically people would know that by this time rains would begin. By October during independence, we would always know that it would rain, knowing that for every farmer at that time, they are already preparing now themselves quickly, going back to the field, knowing that by November, the rains will be in. But in the last 2 seasons, that has not been the case. It is only this season where we have been able to see that going back to the normal cycle. So these are the changes. So sometimes you have changes that lead to floods, changes that lead to drought, and sometimes changes that just lead to erratic rainfall. So all these are part of what you call climate change. But then as a farm, you have a responsibility as owners of that farm to be able to absorb the shocks that these changes cause on your farm. And therefore, you are expected as an owner of the farm to look at different issues like, diversifying the kind of crops that you're going to grow, to take on those that are more resilient, even changing, even if you're doing maize, for example, there are certain type of maize that actually are more resilient to the changes